Hello, everyone. Welcome to Say It.
Hey everyone, so happy you are here with us today. I am Mike.
And I am Sarah.
Wonderful to have you with us today.
Sarah, something happened in my English class this week that I cannot stop thinking about.
What happened?
A student came up to me after class. She had been working on a writing assignment all week. She was so proud of it. And she read me 2 sentences.
What did she say?
The first one, I will visit my parents this weekend. I have already bought the train tickets.
Oh, no.
She had bought the tickets 2 weeks ago. The plan was completely fixed, and she used will.
Because will feels safe. It always feels like the right choice for the future.
And then her second sentence, if I will see him tomorrow, I will tell him the news.
2 sentences, 2 different problems, and both of them so natural sounding that she had no idea anything was wrong.
Which is exactly why this topic matters so much. Will, would, going to, 3 structures all about looking forward, all completely different in meaning.
And by the end of this episode, you will know exactly which one to reach for and why it matters.
But before we start, please like and subscribe to Say It. Every new like and subscriber motivates us to prepare more episodes for you.
Now let's get into it.
Will, would, going to. 3 structures that learners use every single day.
And 3 structures that get mixed up every single day.
Because they all point to the future or to something beyond the present moment, so they feel interchangeable.
But they are not. And the reason they are not comes down to one thing.
Which is?
Where the thought is coming from. Each one starts from a completely different place.
Show me.
Will. The thought is born right now, in this moment, in this conversation. The speaker decides something as they speak.
Going to. The thought already existed before this conversation began. A decision was made earlier, or the speaker can see something happening right in front of them.
And would. The speaker is standing in a different world entirely, an imaginary world, or looking back from the past, or being polite.
So all 3 look forward, but from completely different starting points.
Exactly. And one situation makes this clearer than anything else. A friend asks, "Are you doing anything this weekend?"
I'll call you this weekend.
Decided at this moment. The speaker had no plan before, and just now, in response to this question, a plan is born. Will.
I'm going to visit my parents this weekend.
Already decided. Before this conversation, the plan existed. The speaker is simply reporting it. Going to.
I would visit more often if I lived closer.
Not real, not a plan. The speaker does not live closer, and this is an imaginary version of a life they do not have. Would.
Same question, same weekend, 3 completely different messages about where the thought is coming from.
And that starting point is everything. Change the starting point, and you change the word. Change the word, and you change the entire message.
Will, I decide now. Going to, I decided before, or I can see it coming. Would, a different world, or the past, or politeness.
3 starting points. 1 episode.
So let us start with will, and the most important thing to understand about will before anything else.
Will is born in the moment. The speaker is talking, and in that exact moment, a decision is made. Not before, not planned, right now.
The phone is ringing.
I will get it.
Nobody planned to answer the phone. Nobody decided earlier that morning, I will be the one to answer if it rings. It happened in that second. Will.
We're out of milk.
I will go to the shop.
Again, no plan. The information arrived. The decision followed immediately. That is the heartbeat of will. Something happens, and in the same breath, a decision is born.
Can someone help me with this?
I will do it.
Volunteering on the spot, the offer and the decision are the same thing, will.
And once you feel that I just decided this, you will always know when will is right.
Now, in natural spoken English, will almost always contracts. I will becomes I'll. She will becomes she'll. He will becomes he'll. They will becomes they'll.
So in real conversation, I will get it becomes I'll get it. I will go to the shop becomes I'll go to the shop. Same meaning, just the natural spoken form.
The full form, I will, sounds emphatic, like the speaker really means it. The contracted form, I'll, is the everyday spoken version.
Now, will for predictions, when the speaker looks at the future and shares what they believe will happen.
I think it will rain tomorrow.
No clouds visible right now, no evidence in front of them, just an opinion, a belief. Will. Italy will win the World Cup.
Personal conviction, not a fact, a prediction from inside. Will.
You will love this film.
The speaker knows the listener. They believe this. They are sharing that belief. Will.
Now, will for promises, when the speaker makes a personal commitment to another person.
I will call you when I arrive.
A promise, the speaker is giving their word, and the weight of that word, that personal commitment, is exactly why will works here and not going to. Going to sounds like a schedule. Will carries the feeling of a promise.
I will not tell anyone. Don't worry.
Will not, the negative of will, and here a promise not to do something, a commitment to stay silent. And in natural speech, will not contracts to won't. I will not tell anyone becomes I won't tell anyone. Won't is the contracted form, not will not. The spelling must be memorized.
And will for offers, volunteering something for another person.
I will carry those bags for you.
Nobody asked. The speaker saw a need and responded. Spontaneous, born in the moment. Will.
Don't cook tonight. I will order a pizza.
An offer that solves a problem. Decided right now. Will.
Now, won't, and this is the use that surprises almost every learner.
Won't does not just mean will not in the future. It also expresses right now that someone or something is refusing or unwilling.
She won't listen to me.
She is not refusing in the future, she is refusing right now, in this moment. Won't expresses present unwillingness.
He just won't answer the phone.
Every time the speaker calls, right now, present refusal, won't.
And inanimate objects, as if they have their own will.
The car won't start.
Not a prediction about the future. The car is failing right now, as if it has decided not to cooperate. Won't.
The door won't open. My computer won't turn on.
All of them, something failing or refusing in the present moment. And once you know this, you will hear it everywhere.
The grammar, will never changes for he, she, or it. She will come, never she wills come, and never to after will. You will go, never you will to go.
Will, born in the moment, spontaneous decisions, predictions from opinion, promises, offers, and won't, refusal and unwillingness right now, people refusing, things failing.
Now, going to. And the best way to understand going to is to compare it directly with will.
Will is born in the moment. Going to already existed before the moment.
What do you mean?
When a speaker uses going to, the decision was made before this conversation began, before this sentence. The plan already exists. The speaker is simply reporting it.
So, going back to the student's sentence from the beginning, I will visit my parents this weekend. I have already bought the train tickets.
She bought the tickets 2 weeks ago. The decision was made 2 weeks ago. That means the starting point is before this conversation, not inside it.
So, I am going to visit my parents this weekend.
That is the natural sentence. The plan existed before she opened her mouth. Going to.
I am going to apply for the scholarship.
Decided before this conversation. The decision is already made. The speaker is reporting it. Going to.
We are going to buy a new car next month.
Already decided. Not born in this moment. Going to.
She is going to start exercising more.
A decision that already exists. Going to. And notice, going to changes for he, she, and it. I am going to. She is going to. They are going to. The verb to be is always there. Am, is, or are. It is never optional.
She going to call you later.
Wrong. The verb to be is missing. She is going to call you later. Right. Am, is, are. Always present. Always.
Now, the second use of going to, evidence-based predictions.
This is going to when the speaker can see something happening right in front of them. Visible evidence right now. Going to.
Look at those dark clouds.
It is going to rain. The clouds are visible right now. The evidence is in front of the speaker. They are not sharing an opinion. They are reading what they can see. Going to.
He is driving too fast.
He is going to crash. The danger is visible right now. The speaker can see it unfolding. Going to.
Your phone battery is at 2%.
It is going to die.
The evidence is right there on the screen. Going to.
And contrast this with will for predictions. I think it will rain tomorrow. No clouds visible, no evidence in front of the speaker, just an opinion. Will.
But look at those clouds. It is going to rain. Evidence right now. Going to. Same topic, completely different starting point.
One question separates them. Can you point to evidence you can see right now? Yes, going to. No, will.
Now, was going to and were going to, the past form of going to.
And this one is used constantly in everyday English, especially for explaining why something did not happen as planned.
I was going to call you, but I got distracted.
There was a plan, a real plan, and then something got in the way. Was going to tells the listener, I intended this. It did not happen.
We were going to go to Paris, but the flights were canceled.
The plan existed, Paris was decided, and then circumstances changed.
I was going to study last night, but I fell asleep.
Every learner has said this sentence at some point.
Every single one. Was going to, a plan that existed and did not happen, one of the most natural expressions in everyday English once you know it.
And one final thing about going to in real spoken English. In casual conversation, going to reduces to gonna. I am going to call you later becomes I'm gonna call you later. Are you going to come becomes are you gonna come?
Gonna is everywhere in films, music, and casual conversation, but never write gonna in formal English. In writing, always going to.
Going to. Pre-planned intentions and evidence-based predictions. The decision existed before the conversation, or the evidence is visible right now. Am, is, are. Always present. And was going to, a plan that did not happen.
Now, would. And would is the most complex of the three because it does more jobs than will and going to combined.
Distance. Would always creates distance. Distance from reality for hypothetical situations. Distance from directness for politeness. Distance from the present for the past.
Starting with the most important use, would in hypothetical situations.
When the situation is not real, when the speaker is imagining an alternative world, would describes what happens in that world.
If I won the lottery, I would buy a house.
The speaker has not won the lottery. This is imaginary. In that imaginary world, buying a house would happen. Would.
If I had more time, I would help you.
The speaker does not have more time. That is the reality. But in a different version of today, in an imaginary version, they would help. Would.
And the structure, if plus past simple, then would plus base verb.
The past simple in the if part is doing a special job, not describing the past, but signaling that the situation is not real. We will look at this in detail in Section 9.
Now, would for polite requests. Would makes requests softer and more considerate.
Would you mind closing the door?
Polite. The speaker is not commanding. The would creates a small distance, which makes the request feel less demanding.
Will you close the door?
Direct. Slightly abrupt. Sounds like an expectation.
Would you close the door?
Softer. More considerate. The distance would creates, that is politeness.
And would like, one of the most useful expressions in English, the polite alternative to want.
I want a coffee, please.
Grammatically correct, but in many contexts, blunt.
I would like a coffee, please.
Polite, natural in any formal or service context, and in natural speech, would contracts to d. I would like becomes I'd like. She would like becomes she'd like.
Now, would for past habits, things that happened repeatedly in the past but no longer happen.
When I was young, I would play outside for hours every day.
Not once, every day, a repeated action that belongs to the past. Would.
Every summer, we would go to the beach as a family.
Year after year, a pattern that existed and no longer does. Would.
But, and this is important, would only works for repeated actions, not past states.
I used to be shy.
Being shy is a state, something that was true. Used to, correct.
I would be shy.
Wrong. A state, not a repeated action. The test, is it something you did repeatedly? Would. Is it something you were or something that was true? Used to.
Now, would in reported speech, when someone reports what another person said and the original words contained will becomes would.
Direct speech, she said, I will call you. Reported speech, she said, she would call me. Will in the original moment, would when reporting it from the past.
She promised she would be there. He thought it would rain.
And wouldn't for past refusal, when someone refused on a specific past occasion.
The shop wouldn't give me a replacement. The car wouldn't start this morning.
The same refusing quality as won't, but in the past. And one final use, would for softening opinions.
I would say she needs more experience. I would not agree with that.
Softer, more diplomatic. The would creates distance between the speaker and the statement, making it sound considered rather than blunt.
Would, hypothetical situations, polite requests, would like. Past habits for repeated actions, never states. Reported speech, will becomes would, wouldn't for past refusal, and would for softening opinions.
Now let us put will, going to, would, side by side. Same situation, different word, and feel what changes.
Starting with the clearest illustration of will versus going to.
Someone knocks at the door. What do you say?
I will get it.
Decided this second, nobody planned it. The knock happened and the decision was born in the same moment. Will, perfect.
Now the same situation with going to.
I am going to get it.
That sounds odd.
It does, because going to implies the decision existed before the knock. Why would anyone plan to be the one who answers? Will is the only word that works here.
Now the weekend scenario. A friend asks, "What are you doing this weekend?"
I am going to visit my parents.
Pre-planned. The decision existed before this conversation. Natural.
And the same sentence with will. I will visit my parents.
Sounds like the speaker just thought of their parents in this moment. Odd, especially if the visit has been arranged for weeks.
Same words, completely different message about when the decision was made.
Now, rain. 3 different sentences about the same topic.
I think it will rain tomorrow.
Opinion. No evidence visible right now. Will.
Look at those clouds. It is going to rain.
Evidence right now. The clouds are there. The speaker is reading what they can see. Going to.
I would drink every day when I was in Manchester.
Past habit. Repeated. Over and over. Would.
3 sentences, 1 topic, 3 completely different starting points.
Will. Just decided. Going to. Already decided or evidence visible. Would. Imaginary, past, or polite.
The starting point changes and the whole meaning changes with it.
Now, the second sentence from the beginning of the episode. If I will see him, I will tell him.
And this mistake appears in almost every learner's writing because it feels logical. Both parts are about the future, so why not will in both?
Exactly what the student thought.
But English has one absolute rule for if sentences. Will never goes inside the if part, ever.
So, if I will see him, wrong.
Always wrong. The if part needs present simple, if I see him, not if I will see him.
If I see him, I will tell him.
Correct. Present simple in the if part, will in the result. Real situation, real possibility. This is called the first conditional.
If it rains, I will take an umbrella.
Real possibility, present simple plus will.
If you study, you will pass.
Real condition, real result. Always present simple in the if part, never will.
Now, the second conditional, when the situation is not real, hypothetical, or imaginary.
If part past simple, result part would plus base verb.
If it rained, I would take an umbrella.
Not real, imaginary. Past simple in the if part, would in the result.
If I were rich, I would travel the world.
The speaker is not rich, hypothetical. Past simple, would.
So the two conditionals side by side. Real, if it rains, I will take an umbrella. Imaginary, if it rained, I would take an umbrella.
Same situation. Real, first conditional with will. Imaginary, second conditional with would. And will never, not once, inside the if part.
Now the mistakes. 4 sentences that go wrong constantly, and 2 of them we have already fixed during this episode.
Starting with the student's sentence from the very beginning.
I will visit my parents this weekend. I have already bought the train tickets.
The tickets were bought 2 weeks ago. The decision existed before this conversation. That is the starting point of going to, not will.
I am going to visit my parents this weekend.
The plan existed, the speaker is reporting it. Going to, always for pre-planned events.
Mistake number 2, also from the beginning of the episode.
If I will see him, I will tell him.
Will inside the if part, and will never goes inside the if part. Not in the first conditional, not in the second, not ever.
If I see him, I will tell him. Present simple in the if part, will in the result. That is the rule, and once you know it, you will never break it.
Mistake number 3.
She going to call you later.
Something is missing.
The verb to be. Going to always needs am, is, or are before it. Without it, the sentence does not work.
She going to call you later. Wrong. She is going to call you later. Right. The is cannot be dropped, ever.
And the same for all subjects. I am going to, he is going to, they are going to. Am, is, are, always there.
Mistake number 4, and this one catches even advanced learners.
If I had more money, I will travel.
The if part is past simple, had. That signals the second conditional, an imaginary situation. But the result uses will, which belongs to the first conditional, real situations.
The two conditionals cannot be mixed. If the if part is past simple, the result must be would, always.
If I had more money, I would travel.
Imaginary condition, would result. The two parts always match. Past simple if, would result. Present simple if, will result.
4 mistakes, 4 fixes.
Will for a pre-planned event, wrong. Going to, right. Will inside the if part, never. Present simple inside the if part, always.
She going to, wrong. She is going to, right. Am, is, are, never optional.
If past simple, I will, wrong. If past simple, I would, right. The two conditionals never mix.
And the questions that solve almost everything in this topic.
Did I just decide this? Will. Did I decide before, or can I see evidence right now? Going to. Is the situation imaginary or hypothetical? Would. Is this an if part of a sentence? Never will inside it.
And now let us hear all three working together in a real conversation.
The scenario: two colleagues on a Friday afternoon. One has plans for the weekend, the other has none yet. They talk, make a spontaneous plan, and share what they would do if they had more free time.
Let us go.
So, any plans for the weekend?
Actually, yes. I am going to visit my sister on Saturday. She just moved into a new flat and I promised I would help her unpack.
That sounds nice. And Sunday?
Nothing yet. I was going to go to the gym, but I canceled my membership last week.
I will come with you on Saturday if you want. I have nothing planned either.
Really? That would be great. My sister has been asking about you.
Then it is decided. I will bring some food, you bring something to drink.
Perfect. Look at that sky. It is going to rain tomorrow.
I know. I will bring an umbrella. The forecast said it will be heavy rain all morning.
If I had more free time, I would spend every weekend like this. No pressure, no deadlines.
I know what you mean. If I could choose anything, I would travel for a whole year.
Maybe I will actually book that trip. I'm going to look at flights tonight. Seriously this time.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Let us pause there. 4 moments worth picking out.
I am going to visit my sister on Saturday. Going to. Pre-planned. The visit was arranged before this conversation. The decision existed. Going to.
I will come with you if you want. Will. Spontaneous. Born in this exact moment. The speaker had no plan a second ago, and then the invitation arrived and the decision was made on the spot. Will.
It is going to rain tomorrow. Going to. Evidence-based prediction. The sky is visible right now. The speaker is reading what they can see, not sharing an opinion. Going to.
If I had more free time, I would spend every weekend like this. Would. Second conditional. The speaker does not have more free time. In an imaginary version of their life where they did, this is what they would do. Past simple in the if part, would in the result.
4 uses, 4 starting points, and in that whole conversation, not once did it feel like grammar.
Because it was not grammar. It was just 2 people making plans on a Friday afternoon.
Will, going to, would. 3 starting points. Once you feel the difference, you just reach for the right one.
And that is exactly what today was about. 3 structures, 3 starting points, all looking forward, but from completely different places.
Let us lock it in. Fast.
Will, born in the moment, spontaneous decisions, predictions from opinion, promises, offers, and won't, refusal and unwillingness right now.
Going to. The decision existed before. Pre-planned intentions and evidence-based predictions. Am, is, are, always present. And was going to, a plan that did not happen.
Would, a different world, hypothetical situations, polite requests, would like. Past habits for repeated actions, never states, and will becomes would in reported speech.
The moment of decision test. Just decided, will. Already decided or visible evidence right now, going to. Imaginary or hypothetical, would.
First conditional, real possibilities, if plus present simple, will. Second conditional, imaginary situations, if plus past simple, would, and will never, not once, inside the if part.
Now your challenge.
Tell us in the comments, what are you going to do this weekend? And if you could do anything you wanted, what would you do? Use going to for your real plan and would for your dream.
We read every single one.
And if this episode helped you, please share it with one person who is learning English right now.
Subscribe to Say It so you never miss a new episode. Every new subscriber genuinely motivates us to keep making these for you.
We will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.